So if the bills are getting difficult, what are you going to do about it? If the competition is superior, what are you going to do about it? And what worked many years ago, and this is another conversation I've had, and this is something that I wrote down myself, that things that used to work are not necessarily working today. It doesn't mean you shut down and contract. It doesn't mean you wish it was easier. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery. I'm your host, Araujo. And I got a lot to talk about today, but I'm going to make this brief and to the point. I think many of us need to just hear a little something that'll get you going. You need to get fired up. You need to get back to the things that you know you have to accomplish today in order to get you in this alignment with what you need to do. And over the weekend and over these past few weeks, getting ready for this busy week. This week, I have Mindset Mastery. I'm preparing for a couple more videos that I have to produce, work on my ads. I got 3 agent interviews. I got the big money brokerage event. We have our sales meeting tomorrow. And it got me thinking about capacity, right? That none of this came about because it was easy. And many of us are in this place right now where we're looking at our results. We're into the second quarter, well into the second quarter. And things are becoming more difficult, right, to come about. Contracts are becoming more difficult. The competition is stiff. The inventory, as a matter of fact, the sales went down. If we compare last year versus this year, in general, in our market, single-family residential properties, we sold 6% less. And this, I'm talking about all of Maricopa County. And we have to really start looking at how difficult things are becoming and how we have to rise as business owners. We have to rise as, the leaders of our households. And that the thoughts that are going through our heads are not really a reality unless we make them a reality. We have to continue to focus and lead ourselves, lead our companies into what we want. And over the last couple of weeks, I've had several conversations of people really changing the dynamic of their business where they're doing things that they never thought was possible. They're making the type of money where it was only a dream a year ago. And I'm seeing others that are kind of, their head is in the gutter. And I get it. This is the emotional roller coaster we have to embark on as entrepreneurs. And, one of the things that I try to keep is not to have my emotions all over the place when I'm hearing these stories, right? And I don't show them. And maybe you've talking to me about the problems that you're facing, about the bills that are piling up, about the payments you can't make, about how difficult it is, about the clients that left you. And oftentimes you don't get much sympathy from me, right? And it's not because I'm cold-hearted. It's not because I don't care. I understand the level of pressure you're facing. I've been there. And I'm going to read something to you that I wrote back in 2017 to showcase to you that these are real human emotions. And I'm not above those emotions. And just because I don't necessarily show sympathy towards your issue, towards your tragedy, towards your difficulties, does not mean I don't care. In fact, it's the complete opposite. I deeply care for the success of what you're building because I know what's riding on it on the other side. I know the pressures and the sheer responsibility that you have weighing on your shoulders. So I do care. But I can't sympathize with you and say it's going to be okay because unless you decide it's going to be okay, I have no choice in that. You're the only one who has to decide how far you're willing to take it, how hard you're willing to work. And for me, it's always the question of what are you going to do about it? That's all I can do. I can't sit there and baby you and tell you that, life is unfair because it isn't. We are all a byproduct of the work we decided to do or the work we decided to avoid. It's just plain and simple. And when we face these consequences, it's not meant for one more person to give you pity. I can't be that person to give you more pity. I'm going to be the person that asks you to rise. I'm going to ask you to figure out what to do next. Because at the end of the day, we are all the byproduct of what we decided to do or not to do. So if the bills are getting difficult, what are you going to do about it? If the competition is superior, what are you going to do about it? And what worked many years ago, and this is another conversation I've had, and this is something that I wrote down myself, that things that used to work are not necessarily working today. It doesn't mean you shut down and contract. It doesn't mean you wish it was easier. We have to focus on simply getting better. We have to focus on what is going to take for our capacity to increase. And yes, many of the things that we were doing back then are not working today because everybody's caught up to that level. Maybe your videos was your niche. Maybe that was your X factor. Maybe your ability to communicate powerfully through email was your X factor, but now everybody else is doing it. And again, it's not wishing that things were easier. It means that you got comfortable somewhere along the line. You thought that this process was all that you had to create in order for you to get to the next level. And now the reality of your comfort is becoming like prevalent in your life. Now we have to decide and not be stuck in those places to say, okay, I need to do something about it. So as I start looking at my schedule, and it's massive. Like, I don't think I could accomplish this in a month, and nevertheless in a week. But my capacity is there because I've been able to go through those deep pits and those deep pains and disappointments and figured a way out. I realized that the thoughts that I had were just all imaginary. The thoughts were holding me back. And I'm going to read this to you that I wrote on August 24, 2017. And what I need you to do is just pay close attention. And never mind my own, my own experience in this. I need you to take what I'm reading to you and apply it to your own life. Where are you at right now? And where have you got complacent maybe? Because right now we're in an era of huge opportunities. And yet some of us, some of you, are completely botching it. So yes, if it's difficult right now, there's a reason why it's difficult. If you're not selling as much as you did last year, there's a reason for that. Somewhere along the lines, we got a little too comfortable. But now we have to remind ourselves what we're made of and get back on our game. So I'm going to read this to you. August 24, 2017. So when I say I don't have any sympathy, it's because I've been there before. And I didn't need sympathy during these dark moments. I needed just to remind myself what I'm made of. And I needed to surround myself with people that reminded me of that same exact thing. So maybe some of you are feeling like this. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. And then I'm going to have a little exercise for you to do at the very end. August 24, 2017. I haven't grown at the level I wanted to. We have lost over 30 agents. I feel like my process is being duplicated and I have not grown significantly. I'm feeling unmotivated, overwhelmed in my own head. I feel stuck, lost, and ashamed. I feel pressure. I feel like I have a ton to do. I'm constantly thinking about who will leave next. I'm constantly thinking about the value I'm providing. I'm looking at the competition and feeling scared. I'm losing confidence in myself. I'm in my head. I'm making it okay to mope. I'm making it okay to let my head wander into oblivion. You're making it okay to act defeated. You're making it okay not to know what to do. And this is something that I do often. It's just I talk to myself in a third person perspective. You know exactly what to do. Look what you've built. People are here because you're a true leader. Don't play small. Continue to push forward. You can't continue to act like a victim. Wake your ass up and quit expecting it to be easy. The game is not easy. Quit fighting that unbeatable fight. You want to be great? It's not easy. You want more? It's not easy. You want success? It's not easy. I don't want to continue to go down this path. It is draining. It is draining for myself and for my family. I need to be on fire and present. My family needs me on my game. You can't continue to fall back to your old ways. Stop the whining. Stop the tears of frustration. Act like you know what the F to do. Stop the madness. Stop the dysfunction. Get to work. Quit telling yourself you're not good enough to understand what to do next. Quit saying that you're lost and that you don't have the right systems. and that you don't have the right tools. The more you say it, the more lost I become. Those words become my reality. I feel exactly as that. I feel I am that person. I feel I am that person I don't want to be. I manifest that person. If that person is weak, I become weak. If that person is lost, I become lost. I create what I think. My thoughts get darker, the problems get bigger, my ability to resolve gets smaller. I become my thoughts. Your head is in the gutter. You want to feel the fire without taking the steps to light the match. You want to feel the fire without taking the steps to light the match. I want to feel that fire and fury I know I'm capable of. I want to feel invincible, like nothing can stop me. I want the best of me to be at the forefront of what I do. I want to be proud of what I've accomplished. I got a note yesterday emphasizing the impact I am making. I need to focus on that and stay on that course. You don't need the notoriety. You just need to continue to do the work. You are greater than what you give yourself credit for. You will do what you do out of your heart and not your bank account. Continue to blaze the path. You are on a trajectory of growth and expansion. You are good enough to understand what to do next. Go out and have a checklist of what you need to do. It begins with sending out a few emails today, creating a new video today, returning phone calls today, sending out text messages today, marketing your ass off today. This is what it's all about. You can't afford to do the things you said. You can't afford not to do the things you said. You can't afford not to do the things you are capable of. It's go time. You must do this for you and no one else. You must continue to lead and prosper. I know what to do. I need to have better thoughts. My dark thoughts creates a dark life. My dark thoughts creates a dark life. I need to shine the light on the problem. It is only the shadow that looks scary. The problem is within my control. Getting stuck in my head is not serving anyone. It feeds into what others desire, usually a darker outcome, and the demise of my prosperity. You must lead and you must grow, you must prosper. Getting stuck in the dark leads to me shutting my eyes. There is no way out. I plug my ears and I keep those thoughts echoing in my head. It destroys momentum and expansion. I must do the work. The journey appears long and hard, but it's supposed to be that way. This is the price to pay. This is the price to play at this level. You must continue to grow and prosper. I need to just talk and write out the thoughts that are in my head. The demon turns into a fire-breathing monster when I can't focus on the simple task at hand. I'm overwhelmed by its fire and its huge eyes. I don't see the reality. I begin to believe what is imagined. I begin to believe what is imagined. I must continue to voice my thoughts. They are powerful. They are helpful and they are insightful and will point me into the direction I must conquer. So as I sit here, right, and I hear these problems and I hear these challenges, I'm there with you. I'm right there with you. And it's only when you overcome those problems that you're introduced into the next level. But oftentimes we just allow these problems to manifest on themselves and grow on themselves to a point we do nothing. And we disappoint not only ourselves, but our family. We choose to play a smaller role in life and become complacent to that, just because we're afraid to continue to push forward. And those that continue to push forwards see a new level of prosperity before them. Like I never thought I can create something that I have with this brokerage, with the do the work coaching and consulting, with big money brokerage, and being able to manage all those things at once. You read my thoughts. I just read my thoughts to you. You saw them. And if I would have stopped there because I looked at the competition of how much greater they were, if I would have allowed the 30 agents to stop me, I would not be here today. And some of you are allowing the simplest things to throw you off completely off track. They're bringing pressure and stress and uncertainty into your family because you lost one deal, because a family member decided not to use you. because your videos didn't produce the type of outcomes you wanted. You're allowing those things to stop you. You're never going to become the person you were destined to be if you continue to play that game. I'm only at a fraction of where I know I'll be, but I have to continue to voice out the thoughts that are in my head, that are echoing in my head, as opposed to allowing it to completely destroy me and destroy the momentum of all the things that I worked so hard for. I'm not here to be average, and neither are you. And this is the time you rise. Not allow these thoughts to control you. Not allow the competition to tell you you're less than. It's a decision on your end. Your wife is not going to have sympathy for you. Your husband's not going to have sympathy for you. You're expecting your kids to have sympathy for you? All you're doing is leading them down a path of darkness and despair. You must rise. As the leader of the household, you must rise. And it's not going to be easy. Jim Rohn said that. Quit expecting it to be easy. You must get better. Period. So look at the challenges you have. Look at the escrows you have. If they're not in alignment with the desires you've had in your mind, you need to do something about it. Don't turn a blind eye. Don't think it's okay. Don't look for someone who's doing worse than you as a measuring stick. You got to look forward and ahead. You got to get up. You got to get out. You got to get better. So if those videos weren't working before, maybe the depth has to get deeper, right? Depth of your videos. Before it was just scratching the surface with your videos. And you go deeper. Your strategies have to get better. So, as we're starting our Monday, I need you just to write down the 5 things that come to mind. What are you going to accomplish today that'll get you closer to the things you know and the outcomes you desire? I already got my 5 things down. And this is something you can do on your 12-week target book on a daily basis. It's there for you to help you as a baseline towards your day. We have a new version out. And just follow those guidelines. If it's too hard, then what do you expect? If you can't stay consistent, what else do you expect? Either embrace the current situation you're in or just start doing the work. That's the game. So this week, we have a sales meeting on Tuesday. And for those of you that can't make it here live, I'm going to be going live on Zoom as well. And Thursday, we have Jermaine that is putting his time and effort into teaching you on how to stay more organized with your database. He's on a rampage right now, growing exponentially. Individuals that are using the 12-week target book are dominating the game. So if you can't stick to a simple process, if you can't attend the meetings, then just stay wherever you're at. And maybe that's all you were meant to create. Or let's rise together. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of Mindset Mastery. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Badass Agents Podcast, brought to you by AZ & Associates and Do the Work Coaching and Consulting. You can watch this and other episodes by subscribing to our channel on YouTube or by visiting us directly at badassagents.com. And of course, you can listen to this episode and many others on your preferred podcast provider.